Throughout history, the lives of famous figures have captivated us, their achievements, their struggles, their legacies. But sometimes, it's their deaths that leave the most lasting impression. Not all great men and women meet quiet, dignified ends. Some perish in ways so bizarre, so unexpected, that they defy belief. These strange and often gruesome final moments remind us that fate has a twisted sense of humor, and no amount of power, wealth, or genius can shield a person from the absurdity of mortality. Take the case of Alexander the Great, one of history's greatest conquerors. By the age of 32, he had built an empire stretching from Greece to India, undefeated in battle. Yet his death remains shrouded in mystery. After a night of heavy drinking in Babylon, he fell violently ill. Some historians believe he succumbed to malaria or typhoid fever, while others suspect poison, perhaps administered by his own generals, weary of his relentless campaigns. But the strangest detail: ancient accounts claim his body showed no signs of decay for days, leading some to believe he was divine. Modern science suggests a rare neurological condition may have slowed decomposition, but the truth remains lost to time. A man who reshaped the world met an end as enigmatic as his life. Equally mysterious is the death of Edgar Allan Poe, the father of Gothic horror. His final days were as chilling as his tales. In 1849, Poe was found delirious on the streets of Baltimore, wearing tattered clothes that weren't his own. He muttered incoherently, repeatedly calling out the name Reynolds, a figure never identified. Taken to a hospital, he slipped in and out of consciousness before dying for days later. No one knows what happened. Theories range from alcohol poisoning, though Poe had been sober for years, to rabies, epilepsy, or even foul play. The man who mastered the macabre left behind a real-life mystery, ensuring his death would haunt history just as his stories haunt our imaginations. Then there's Tycho Brahe, the 16th century astronomer whose meticulous observations laid the groundwork for modern astronomy. His death, however, was anything but scientific. Legend claims he refused to leave a royal banquet to relieve himself, fearing it would breach etiquette. The resulting bladder rupture supposedly killed him, but modern investigations suggest a darker possibility: mercury poisoning, either from his alchemical experiments or, as some speculate, deliberate murder by a rival. The truth may never be known, but the irony remains. A man who studied the heavens met an end mired in earthly absurdity. Few deaths are as bizarre as that of Attila the Hun, the fearsome warrior who brought Rome to its knees. After years of relentless conquest, his end came not on the battlefield, but in bed, drowning in his own blood. Following his latest marriage to a young bride, Attila celebrated with a night of heavy feasting and drinking. The next morning, he was found dead, a massive nosebleed having suffocated him in his sleep. The scourge of God, who had terrified millions, was undone by a simple bodily malfunction. Had his enemies known, they might have spared themselves years of warfare and simply invited him to a very rowdy party. If Attila's death was ironic, Grigory Rasputin's was downright surreal. The self-proclaimed holy man wielded dangerous influence over Russia's royal family, earning him powerful enemies. In 1916, a group of nobles decided to kill him, but Rasputin wouldn't die easily. First, they poisoned his wine and pastries with enough cyanide to kill several men. When he showed no effects, they shot him in the chest. He collapsed, only to rise moments later and attack his assailant. They shot him 3 more times, beat him savagely, bound him, and threw him into the icy Neva River. When his body was recovered, they found he had somehow freed his hands before finally succumbing to drowning. If ever there was a man who seemed to defy death itself, it was Rasputin. Even the world of science is not immune to strange fatalities. Consider Thomas Midgley Jr., the chemist who invented leaded gasoline and chlorofluorocarbon CFCs, 2 of the most environmentally destructive substances ever created. Midgley's later years were plagued by polio, leaving him paralyzed. Ever the inventor, he devised an elaborate system of ropes and pulleys to help him move in bed. But in 1944, the mechanism turned against him. He became entangled in the cords and was strangled to death. A man whose innovations inadvertently harmed millions was ultimately undone by his own ingenuity. History's annals are filled with such strange and unsettling ends. Aeschylus, the ancient Greek playwright, was reportedly killed when an eagle dropped a tortoise on his head, mistaking his bald scalp for a rock. King Adolf Frederick of Sweden died in 1771 after consuming a meal of lobster, caviar, sauerkraut, smoked herring, champagne, and 14 servings of his favorite dessert semel leading to fatal digestive complications. And then there's Jerome Irving Rodale, the pioneer of organic farming, who famously declared on television that he would live to be 100 before promptly dropping dead of a heart attack on live camera. What do these deaths teach us? Perhaps that history is not just a record of great deeds, but also of human vulnerability. No matter how brilliant, powerful, or feared a person may be, death comes for everyone sometimes in the most unexpected, absurd, or darkly poetic ways. These strange final moments strip away the grandeur of legend, reminding us that even the most towering figures are, in the end, only mortal. So the next time you read about a famous historical figure, remember, their lives may have changed the world, but their deaths, those often reveal just how unpredictable, how darkly humorous, and how utterly human history truly is.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this video and appreciate the effort behind it, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel grow, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Oh, and one more thing, share this video with your friends. Spread the love and support. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let me know if you want any tweaks.